Hey everybody, Jim here from Racers and Rods Automotive Media. Hey, it's Monday. Hope you're having a halfway decent day. Mine's going pretty well. Just wanted to jump on and I had a couple things on my mind that I wanted to talk about while they were fresh in my head over from overall from a lot of experiences that we've had, but also from the past couple weekends we've done. We're our busy schedule. We've done a bunch of shows and that sort of thing. But I had something I kind of wanted to talk about, and that's shows and events and music. It's probably going to be a controversial subject. Um, I like music as much as the next guy. I do DJ some small events and that sort of thing. I don't have a huge system. Um, I like looking at, I like hearing all of the base vehicles and music vehicles that come to a lot of the car shows, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all the work, just like I do if you built a motor, if you chromed stuff out, if you did a good interior. Hey, a nice stereo system or a big stereo system. We can all get into that because it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of creativity, it's a lot of money. But I guess my take is there's a time and a place to to display what you've got. More and more, we're seeing a lot of these shows where some of these, really loud, um, base vehicles or competition vehicles come to the car show, and the show may have a DJ, maybe probably playing music, and part of what the DJ is supposed to be doing, hopefully, is shouting out to the vendors, the sponsors, all of that sort of thing, because all those people pay money to come to the show to show their wares, to hopefully make some money. That's their living. Sponsors put money out for just that, for sponsoring a show, getting their name out there, and getting some recognition. Um, I've seen and heard too many times in the past, a lot, and especially recently in the past, let's just say 3 months or so, where we've had shows where, some of these vehicles that are designed for, SPL and designed for base competitions and things come to the shows, and everybody wants to hear it, everybody wants to see what it looks like, feel it, and that sort of thing. But you know um I think you have to look at your surroundings a little bit, if you are one of the people or persons that come with that sort of vehicle, and look around. Number one, a lot of these shows, a lot of these events are, family oriented events, especially a lot of the stuff we do with the lowrider crowd, and not necessarily directly, speaking to that crowd, but that's part of it. There's a lot of kids around, a lot of kids and a lot of families, and the the type of music that is played sometimes, my personal take, and I'm going to say it's the take of Racers and Rods, isn't appropriate. you know um when I DJ, I play, we play stuff that's PG rated, that's R rated, um you know traditional rap stuff that have some words in it. But um some of the music I've heard recently, with that's, and I'm not a prude by any means. I mean, I cuss with the best of them. Is just not appropriate around kids. If I had, my grandkids were at one of the shows here recently, and I don't want them hearing that stuff. It's bad enough the stuff that they hear elsewhere and things, but really derogatory type music and songs don't need to be played at those events. Number two, we've been at a number of events lately where we set up our tent, whether we're selling merchandise. A lot of times we don't. We're just there. It's kind of our base camp, for all of our media guys, for us to have a place to sit and take a break. We hand out free stuff. I hand out sunglasses to the kids, and lanyards and stickers, and those sort of things. So we're not necessarily there making money, but there's too many times recently where we're sitting under our tent, taking a break, and you can't even talk to the person next to you, that the music is so loud from some of these cars and trucks, that it's unbearable. I mean, we left, and a couple of my media guys left early, recently from an event, because you get a headache. You just can't hear. I can't function. I can't talk to people. One of the things I always do, I'm the promotions guy for our company. I walk around and, I always say I shake hands and kiss babies. People, I want to get the word out on what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and that sort of thing. And when you can't sit 3 feet from somebody under your own 10 by 10 tent and have a cold drink and talk to them at this level, and not hear them, is not right. I'm sorry, it just isn't. Besides the fact that the event coordinator hired a DJ. In most cases, DJs aren't cheap, especially good DJs and DJs that have big sound systems. That stuff is expensive. I know. I mean, I have a small system and mine was expensive. To be that disrespectful, I'm going to go there. To be that disrespectful to roll into a show where and I've been there. I've been at a show and went to and been paid to DJ and make announcements, and have gone to the promoter and say, I'll just turn my system off. I'm here. You're going to pay me because I was paid to come here. This is your show. You need to control what's going on. If you want those people to play music that loud, fine. That's fine. Next time, don't hire a DJ. But if you hire a DJ, and I'm trying to get out the word on the vendors and the sponsors and what's going on, and the people that are going around, judging the cars and that sort of thing, and you can't hear me more than 25 feet away from my tent. I just don't think that's acceptable. I just think it's very rude to pull into an event like that and drown out the DJ that is being paid to play music and to make announcements at that particular show. Let's face it, the music, we're not there to dance. We're not there. It's not a concert. The music is a background thing that just allows us to not have dead air at a car show. Most people, do they care what kind of music is even played? Most cases, probably not, because you probably can't really hear it that well. It's just a background thing. But to have someone roll in with some of these vehicles and just at total disregard, open the doors, crank it up, and blast it all day long. I'm not talking about somebody that says, hey, everybody wants to hear my system. I'm going to play one song. I'm going to play it 5 minutes every hour or something to let everybody hear what I've got, because I want to hear it too. I want to see it. We videotape that. We take pictures of that. We talk to the people. But I don't want to hear it all day. I mean, I don't want to be. I went to a show over the weekend. I'm not going to say which one it was. I went to order food, and the guy that I was ordering food from, he was there to make a living. He's there to sell his food to the people that are at that show. I was standing across the table from him, and we couldn't hear each other. And I don't think that's right. I'm sorry. And if you're a promoter, you're putting on a show, that's your prerogative. You can let them play. But I'm just saying, we're going to be choosy. We're, one of the things that we're working on that Racers and Rods is doing more and more of, is we're trying to get more interest in not just the cars, but the people. So we've been doing interviews. We have a lot of money in a lot of equipment. If you've seen the equipment we have lately with the boom crane and the things that we bring, multiple people doing videos and doing photos and such, to the car shows. We want to do interviews. If you have an interesting story, you have a car, we want to know about it. How did you build it? Why did you build it? What's your background? Those sort of things. Those are interesting interviews to do to find out more about the people. The last couple shows that we did where we had this problem, we couldn't even do an interview. We have equipment that muffles out DJ equipment. Even if the DJ is playing fairly loud, we can put lapel mics on. We can do handheld mics. We have things that take the background noise out of a recording. But when it's playing so loud you can't hear somebody 3 feet away from you, we can't do interviews. We can't do what we want to do. So that limits the amount of information that we can provide from a show, rather other than just walking around and shooting videos and photos of cars, which, let's face it, it's rough because it's not that interesting. There are cool cars, but after a while, cars are cars. So anyway, we can't do our jobs. We can't do what we want to do, and that limits the amount of money that we can make because we put these videos out. We look for sponsors for the videos and that sort of thing. So that's taking money out of my pocket, and I don't appreciate it, and I don't think it's right. So, with that being said, just like I said, it's my take. You might not have the same take. Again, I'm not knocking the music and the base car or truck industry, but I think there's a time and a place for it, and I don't think the time is all day long. Is if you're sitting at a show for 3 hours or 4 hours and having this kind of music just cranked to the highest level where you can't hear anybody, and can't do your job, whether it's the DJ announcing, whether it's a vendor selling something, whether it's a food vendor selling food, or us doing interviews. If all of us can't do our job, people are not going to come back to these kind of shows. I mean, it's just flat out, it's not going to happen. It's gonna be a problem, and I think it's already a problem. So, if you're a promoter, think about it a little bit. I'm not saying limit music, don't have any vehicles like that. But think about your audience. Number one, if there are children around, what's being played, what's being said, and some of this, some of the music. Like I said, I mean, I like hip hop and rap and all of those things just as much as the next guy. But there are things that I don't want my kids, my grandkids hearing. That's my prerogative, and they won't come to shows if that's the case. Think about your family. Number two, if you're a promoter, think about not only the people that paid good money to bring their cars to your show, that are sitting or have their base camp or whatever next to some of these vehicles where you can't sit there, you can't talk to people, you can't hear, you can't think. I left one of the shows over the last weekend or so, 2 weekends, a couple of them, with a pounding headache because of the music. So if you're a promoter, think about that kind of stuff. Think about your crowd. Think about and don't be. I've talked to a couple of promoters like, well, I invited them and they're playing music. It's your show. You're the one that's there putting the money out for the trophies and for all of the rest of the things. If that's what you want out of your show, good for you. That's great. I appreciate that. But you got to think about everybody else around too, and who wants to hear that and who doesn't. And not only who wants to hear it, if it's turned up a little bit, okay, fine. But when you can't hear the DJ, you can't hear yourself think, and you can't be, 100 feet away from a vehicle and stand next to someone and have a normal conversation without screaming at the top of your lungs. You need to think about that. You need to think about if that's the way you want to run your show. Hey, again, just our take, my take. We can't operate in that kind of environment. We don't want to be in that kind of environment. I don't want to sit and eat my lunch and talk to people and hand things out to people at our booth and try to get people interested in what we do in that kind of environment. You can't do it. I mean, you can't do it when you have to scream at someone 4 feet away from from you sitting next to you because you can't hear. Anyway, we had a bunch of good shows. We appreciate everyone that's allowed us in. We've done, a number of shows over the past 2 weeks, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and, for the past 2 weeks. So we appreciate everybody that's been having us out. We appreciate the people that have been following us online. We're gaining headway with that, gaining more people, gaining more popularity as it goes by. Just want to finish with this, May 4th, which is just under 2 weeks. is Lowrider Fest 2024, first annual Quaker Steak and Lube, Clearwater. It's on a Saturday, 11 to 3. If you have a lowrider or in the lowrider community, and it doesn't have to be, you know, I've had people ask, it doesn't have to be a traditional lowrider. Hey, that may hurt some people's feelings, but if it does, you know, I'm sorry if don't show up. But if you like traditional lowriders, if you like bagged vehicles, if you like static vehicles, you know, mini trucks, old school cars, classic cars, probably be a few donks there. We've got a ton of bicycles, probably 50 bicycles that are in the lowrider community of all different types. Again, traditional lowrider bikes with the etching and the chrome and the gold and the lowered stance, and then some of the newer ones that are kind of stretched versions and you know, cruiser type vehicles and that sort of thing. We got a lot of bikes coming. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, May 4th, come by. We're gonna fill Quaker Steak and Lube. I've had other promoters and people that I've talked to that have kind of rolled their eyes at me. Even with the fact that we have 100 cars already registered, almost 100 cars registered. We've been given the whole parking lot at Quaker Steak and Lube. You know, the regular lot was about 175. We'll probably have at least 250 spots for cars. And I'm hoping, and I sincerely think that we're going to do a really good job of filling that place, like you probably haven't seen in a while. So a lot of vehicles coming out there. If you're a fan, if you have a vehicle, it's all free. We tried to do it free, but we know that there's people coming from out of town. Have a lot of people already, you know, signed up from out of town. You can register. I've tried to make it as affordable as possible. It's $10 for a car or for a bike or for, you know, whatever kind of vehicle. We've got some Groms and some mini moto stuff coming in. $10 will absolutely guarantee you a spot, and in a pretty good spot. Most of this, probably all of the south parking lot, if you're familiar with the area, you're familiar with Quaker Steak and Lube, is going to be VIP. So if you've paid $10 for your spot, you're probably going to be in that area, and we are guaranteeing that we're going to put you in a spot that you're not going to be turned away, because I don't want anybody to be turned away. But if we fill the place, we fill the place. You know, what can you do? You can only park so many cars. Clubs, I've got, I think, 8 or 10 fairly large clubs that are already rolling in. Clubs are $50 for the club. Doesn't matter how many cars you have, 5 cars to 25. You need to register online. I'll put the URL with this video. It'll be in the link, and you can go and you can register online. And again, that is going to be very important, because if you don't register your club, whether you're bringing 5 cars or whether you bring 15 cars, especially if you're bringing more than 5, we want to guarantee that we can park all your cars together. You can put your banner out, you can put your tent up, you can do, you know, all of this sort of things. We want this to be a really nice event. So the ones that have already registered, we already have spots for all of them. We have a club that's bringing 15 cars. We've got 15 spots reserved. We know exactly where we're going to put that club. We've got ones with 10. We've got ones with 8 or 9. So we've got clubs coming. They're already going to be parked. We already know where we're going to park them. They are guaranteed a spot. If you have a club and you're, well, we're, you know, like most shows or whatever, you know, we're going to pay, you know, you don't have to pay when you get there. If you haven't reserved a spot, it's free. You can come in and park, but I can't guarantee that I can put your club together in one spot, with all of your cars. And you know, I think, you know, being in a club in the past myself, when I was a mini truck guy, that's important. You want to come, you want to show off what you've got. You want to show the club colors and that sort of thing. So if you're in a club, you need to absolutely do that. You need to register online, or I can't guarantee that you're going to have a spot together. You know, you may have 2 cars here and 3 guys might only have 4 or 5 spots contiguously next to each other, and you've got 10 cars. So that's going to be a problem. I don't want that to happen. I don't want people to go away mad. I don't want people to come in mad. I don't want people to say, oh, well, you didn't tell us this, blah, blah, blah. And we don't have a spot. $50 is $50. I understand that, but you got 10 cars. That's $5 a car. Where else are you going to go to car show and you're going to have, a good time? You're going to have a car show with a lot. I can guarantee you now, there are going to be cars there. They're going to blow your mind. I've got a lot of big time clubs. I've got a lot of big time lowriders coming. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, not to beat it in the ground, but clubs, please, if you can, you need to register. I put the word out, excuse me, this week. We're going to do we're going to do a 3-wheel contest. We've got 10 cars, 10 guys that have registered their cars online. We're going to roll those through. We're going to do a little 3-wheel and see who is the best, who the king of the 3-wheelers are. I think I've got a hopper lined up to come. He has not completely said he's going to be there. If you're already registered with a club or by yourself, or if you are planning on coming and you have a car or truck that is a competition type hopper, we can't do too much there because I don't want to go crazy and hurt something or hurt somebody or whatever. But we have a little spot there. I would like to have someone do. We're not going to do any kind of hop off or anything like that. We just don't have room. But I would love to have someone with a fairly decent, a competition type hopper come and do a demonstration. If you have one of those and you want to participate, let me know. DM me. We'll work something out. You won't have to pay, but I need to know who's coming and who's not. So, Lowrider Fest, May 4th. We appreciate everybody that's going to be there. We have a bunch of raffle prizes, T-shirts and posters, and all kinds of cool stuff. I have a couple surprises. I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag. They're not old pedal cars, but I've got a pedal car that I purchased that's looks like an older hot rod type car, type pedal car. And I've got a smaller one that's kind of a push car, I guess, that the kid sits on and doesn't have pedals, but it's maybe a smaller child. I bought 2 of those, found them cheap, having custom seats put on them, and they're going to be cool. And I have Miguel, who is also going to be there, the Bomb Art, who does pinstriping. He will be there. He'll be in the parking lot. If you want pinstriping done at the show, he will be there, be able to pinstripe your car at the show. He's going to dial these up. He's going to pinstripe. This is, I kind of made a tease before, so this is the official announcement. These are going to be raffled off at the show. The 2 pedal cars, like I said, they're not old cars. They're not from the 50s or 60s or whatever. They're newer cars, but they are customized. And they're going to be pretty cool. So if you're into that stuff, or if you're not into that, you want to throw a couple bucks, we'll have a raffle for those, and give those away. I'd love to keep them, but I can't keep them. I don't have room for them, so we're going to give them away. So that'll be cool. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So I appreciate you watching. Please leave me your take one way or another. I'd like to hear what you think about the music situation. Whether you think it's okay, whether you think it's not okay, whether you think there's some kind of middle ground. Maybe you have some sort of suggestion that would make it better for everybody, the people that are wanting to hear it and play it, and the people that don't want to hear it all day long and think it's a little obtrusive. So hey, I can understand both ways. So leave your take. Let me know what you think. We appreciate it. We hope to see you on May 4th at Quaker Steak and Lube for Lowrider Fest 2024. It's going to be an awesome show. We appreciate everybody that's helped us out, that's coming, and it's going to be a good time. So with that, we'll leave you there. We'll see you at the next show, and you have a good day.